I can resist everything but temptation. Well, I'm not saying that. This was said by Oscar Wilde. And that is the reality of the matter as well. In this time and age, most of us suffer with temptation, and that is the sad truth of our lives. And many times we're not even able to get rid of it. In fact, there was a recent incident which really motivated me to make this video. If you want to learn more on that, stay tuned. Hi everybody, this is Dr. Samreen. I'm a full-time academic in the UK, and I'm making these videos which have helped me immensely personally, and I'm really hoping that these videos will also add some value to your life. And there was a recent incident which really motivated me to make this video, and I thought if these people are struggling, perhaps there might be a lot more people and they might not have somebody to share their problems with. So here it goes. Quite recently, I met a couple of people and they told me that they're studying right now. They go to uni every single day. They try to engage in the class, they try to participate. However, when it comes to sitting down and doing your assessment, they're really struggling with it. Now, the main problem was that they were tempted to watch online content all day long. Despite knowing that this is not good for them, despite knowing that this is not going to help them in their assessment, or perhaps their long time life goals, but still they can't control themselves and they can't help it. And that really made me think that how helpless one feels and thinks when they're going through something like that. And therefore, this video. In layman's language, temptation means we're doing something which is not good for us. And if you really look at the Cambridge Dictionary of the word temptation, it means it's something that makes you want to do or have something that you know you should not. And there could be so many different kinds of temptations. Some are more obvious than the others. The most obvious ones, junk eating, watching online content, trying to make somebody feel inferior, and so on and so forth. And the more implicit temptations could be feeling self-pity for yourself, negativity, feeling envy, and so on and so forth. And some way or the other, we all have faced temptations, and we do all our lives. But some of us are better to overcome it. So of course, we have looked at the definition of temptation, but what temptation is, of course, we are doing an activity, and that activity over time becomes a habit. And in order to understand why temptation happens, we need to understand why we have certain habits, perhaps which are not very good ones. And on that, I want to bring this very useful work by Charles Duhigg in the book The Power of Habit. He talks about that how we really form certain habits and what leads to having one habit over the other. There are three components of a habit: a trigger, action, and a reward. So if you look at temptation in line with these three factors, we can easily see that you are triggered to do something for that instant gratification. You want to get that high dopamine. You want to feel good for the shorter period of time before you can face a reality of your life. So if you look at the trigger is that stress in their life, which is really making them use these platforms to escape from the reality and throw themselves in this online world where their reality is extremely different. So they do this activity, and as a result, they get this instant gratification, that reward, that they feel happy for the smallest period of time. But when some time has gone by, they realize what they have done. They have wasted the time. The stress is still the same. In fact, some cases, it also has increased, and their life has not moved a single inch ahead. So that is how temptations build, and that is how we feel tempted to do something which we know is not good and is not going to pay us off in the longer run. So after understanding why temptations happen, I really hope that you can apply it to yourself and think about it, that if you have a certain temptation, what is the reason behind it? What is the trigger? For example, in my case, I'm very tempted to eat junk food. And what I've realized with time, that my trigger is when I'm feeling extremely hungry. And the minute I feel extremely hungry, I just want to eat something. I don't care if it's junk food, if it's healthy food. So in my case, I need to make sure that I'm not triggered by that, and I'm always well fed, that I don't feel that extremely hungry, that that's triggered for me to eat that junk food. And that brings me to a few of the strategies which can really help you to overcome this temptation. First of all, it's extremely important for us to acknowledge our temptation. So the first step towards improvement is acknowledge that, okay, I am tempted to do this. And I know my reasons why I'm tempted to do this. Trust me, this is the most important step in overcoming temptation, because until you are in denial, nobody can help you, not even yourself. So it's extremely important for you to first of all acknowledge your temptation, that you have this temptation. Secondly, what is that triggering point for you? And thirdly, what are you getting out of that temptation? What is that short-term reward which you are getting through doing this action? Secondly, The next time you are tempted to do something which you know is not good for you, think about the consequences. So think about, if you want to spend all your day watching this online content, ask yourself, where would this take you in the next week, in the next month, in the next year, and so on and so forth. Ask yourself if engaging in this activity would lead you to achieving your life goals or not. Understanding the consequences of our activities and actions can really help us immensely to make an informed decision and know that our actions has the power to change our lives for better. And then, the minute you feel tempted to do something, I want you to take a deep breath, sit down, and in your mind, count backwards from 5 till 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now ask yourself, do you still want to engage in that activity? And most likely, you would get an answer which is no. And that is your preferred answer, and that is what you want. Because research suggests that making informed choices always enable us to make the right choice. Because when you have thought through the consequences, when you acknowledge your problems, you are in the right position and the mind frame to make the right decision for yourself, which is going to help you to improve your life in the future. I understand we are not very strong people. When we are tempted to do something, we feel weak and we feel helpless. So, in order to provide you that quick reward, that instant gratification, what you should do instead, provide yourself an alternative. The next time when you want to watch that content online, attach it to an activity and tell yourself, I'll only watch this if I'm doing my work. And that if could be anything based on, of course, your temptation and the activity. So always attach that to a positive action so you don't feel as guilty initially, of course, baby steps. So for me, my alternative is always keep a healthy snack with me. So if I'm tempted to eat something which is not too healthy and perhaps junk, I can simply go back to my alternative food and eat that. We also underestimate the way we talk to ourselves. This is proven by a research study conducted by Professor Vanessa Patrick, who had conducted these experiments where people were told to use the words either I don't or I can't eat this pumpkin pie. Later on, the same group of people were given the choice to select from either a chocolate bar or a healthy snack bar. And the people who initially had chosen the word I don't were more likely to eat the healthy snack bar over the chocolate bar because they felt that they were controlling their own life and they were making an empowering decision by saying I don't. On the other hand, if you're saying I can't, that means that might be coming from the fear, and that is not really empowering for you. And so the way we talk to ourselves, the way our brains listen to us, the way we think about ourselves, have a massive reflection on our actions as well. So next time when you're tempted to do something and tell yourself, I don't want to do it. It's not that I can't do it. I have the choice, and I make that informed decision that I don't want to do this because it's not good for me. So just swapping the word can't to don't can also go a long way in overcoming temptation. And wherever there's a problem, always seek help. There's no shame in seeking for help, and that help can come from your friends, family, from writing. It could be anything, but so important that you never feel that you're in isolation, and that you always should know that there are people around you. There are so many sources which can help you to overcome your temptations. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Take care. Until next time. Bye.